A little girl from the street shouted to a millionaire, "Don't eat that, your wife put poison." What seemed like a bizarre outburst from a child quickly unraveled into a shocking tale of deceit, betrayal, and the unexpected bravery of an innocent child who changed everything. This is a story that proves the truth has a way of surfacing when you least expect it. Mr. James Calloway was a man who had everything. A self-made millionaire, he was the owner of a thriving chain of luxury hotels. With his wealth and influence, James had built a life of luxury, complete with a sprawling mansion, a fleet of cars, and an equally glamorous wife, Eleanor. She was stunning, charming, and the picture-perfect partner that everyone envied. But beneath the surface, their marriage was far from the fairy tale it appeared to be. On a breezy afternoon, James decided to enjoy a quiet meal in his garden. It was one of his rare moments of solitude, and Eleanor had gone inside after setting the table. Everything was perfect: the fine china, the elegantly plated meal, and the soft rustle of leaves in the wind. Just as James picked up his fork to take his first bite, a shrill voice pierced the serene atmosphere. "Don't eat that. Your wife put poison." Startled, James turned to see a young girl standing on the other side of the garden fence. Her clothes were tattered, her hair messy, and she looked like she hadn't eaten in days. James blinked, unsure if he had heard her correctly. He looked around, wondering if someone was playing a prank. But the girl's wide, panicked eyes told him otherwise. Eleanor rushed out, her face a mixture of shock and anger. "What is this nonsense?" she snapped, glaring at the girl. "Get out of here, you little thief!" The girl didn't flinch. Instead, she pointed at the plate. "I saw you! You were in the kitchen! You poured something in his food!" James was frozen, his fork still in midair. He glanced at Eleanor, who was now flustered and defensive. "She's lying, James. She's probably just trying to get attention or money." Eleanor's voice was steady, but there was an edge to it that James hadn't noticed before. He looked at the girl again. She couldn't have been more than 8 or 9 years old, yet there was something in her gaze and unwavering honesty that made James hesitate. "Who are you?" James asked, his voice calm but firm. "My name is Lily," the girl said, clutching the fence tightly. "I live down the street. I've seen her do things before when you weren't home. I swear I'm telling the truth." Eleanor's voice rose in indignation. "James, are you seriously listening to this child? She's probably making it up for some food or money. This is absurd." But James couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. He decided to test the waters. "Fine," he said, standing up. "Let's call the police. If it's a lie, we'll clear this up right now." Eleanor's face turned pale. "The police? James, don't be ridiculous. This is just a waste of time." Her sudden change in demeanor didn't escape James's notice. "You seem awfully eager to drop this," he said, his voice colder now. "Why don't we have the meal tested, just to be sure?" Eleanor stammered, trying to brush it off as paranoia, but James was no fool. He called his private security team and asked them to escort the girl inside while they contacted the authorities. They took the plate to be analyzed, leaving Eleanor visibly unsettled. As the hours passed, James sat in his study, replaying the events in his mind. Eleanor had retreated to their bedroom, claiming she needed to calm her nerves, but James knew this wasn't just about a child's wild accusation. Something didn't add up. When the test results came back, James's world shattered. The food contained a lethal dose of poison, confirming his worst fears. He felt an icy chill run through his veins as he stared at the report, unable to comprehend how someone he had shared his life with could harbor such malice. Questions swirled in his mind. How long had Eleanor been planning this? Had their marriage been nothing but a fade? He replayed moments from their life together, searching for clues he might have missed. The betrayal cut deep, but alongside the shock was an overwhelming gratitude for Lily's bravery. Without her timely warning, he realized, he wouldn't be alive to uncover the truth. The thought of how close he had come to meeting a tragic end left him shaken. As the weight of the revelation sank in, James resolved to ensure justice was served and to protect the little girl who had saved his life. The truth hit him like a thunderbolt. The woman he had trusted, loved, and built a life with had planned to kill him. And if it hadn't been for the brave little girl who had spoken up, he might not have been alive to see the next day. Eleanor was arrested, and during the investigation, a chilling story unfolded. She had been involved in a secret affair and had planned to inherit James's fortune by eliminating him. The authorities discovered evidence, hidden bank accounts, emails, and even a search history that confirmed her intentions. James, devastated but grateful to be alive, turned his attention to Lily. He couldn't understand how a child living on the streets had found herself in the middle of this, but he was determined to find out. Lily explained that she often passed by James's house while scavenging for food in the neighborhood. She had noticed Eleanor acting strangely on multiple occasions, but it wasn't until that day, when she saw Eleanor pouring something into the meal, that she realized something was terribly wrong. "I couldn't let you die," Lily said simply. Those words struck James to his core. This little girl, who had nothing, had risked everything to save a stranger. James decided to take Lily under his wing. He learned that she had been orphaned at a young age and was surviving on the streets, doing odd jobs and relying on the kindness of strangers. Touched by her courage, James offered to give her a home, an education, and a chance at a better life. At first, Lily was hesitant. She wasn't used to kindness without strings attached. But over time, she came to trust James. He enrolled her in school, provided her with everything she needed, and ensured she never had to worry about her next meal again. As for Eleanor, she was sentenced to prison for attempted murder. James struggled with the betrayal, but he found solace in knowing that justice had been served. Years later, Lily grew into a confident, compassionate young woman, her resilience shining through in everything she did. She excelled in her studies, earning top honors and becoming a role model for her peers. She often spoke about the day her life changed forever, the moment she mustered the courage to warn James, setting a course either of them could have predicted. James, in turn, became her unwavering supporter, attending her school events with pride and guiding her through life's challenges as a father figure. Beyond academics, Lily dedicated herself to helping others, volunteering at shelters and mentoring children who, like her, had once faced hopeless circumstances. She often credited James for teaching her that even the smallest acts of kindness could transform lives. For James, Lily was more than just a ward, she was his family, his joy, and the light that had turned his darkest moment into a journey of healing and redemption. The bond they shared was unbreakable, born out of a single act of bravery that had saved one life and transformed another. And while James could never forget the betrayal he had endured, he chose to focus on the future, a future made brighter by the little girl who had shouted the truth when no one else would.